And happy Abundance Wednesdays. We are here
Hello.
today with Tasha Caulfield, and we've got Nigel. Nigel decided to drop in and say what's up, but we got Tasha. We've got Luna Vega coming in to talk to us about Vegas. Tasha is going to tell us when her new movie 1984 is coming out, but we're going to save that for later. You have to stick around if you want to know. And then we're going to have Lauren Siekman. She was one of the first people to come to the show before we actually were a stream or whatnot. So she's actually going to come back today because she has a new film coming out herself, a documentary that she worked on for how many years was it?
4 years she's been working on it. It's Unbanked, and it's
Right.
a Bitcoin documentary. So she came
Yeah.
on before to tell us a little bit about that. And she's going to be in Vegas next week for the Bitcoin conference that's going on. And she's going to be attending the festival and going to meet up with us. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Super excited.
Can you text back to people who are writing, or like, no, or could I do it? Or sorry.
Yes. Sorry, I should have mentioned. Usually, we kind of go through what the whole deal is here, but there's actually.
Also, when they say, like Grimfeld said, hey, and Giraffe said hello.
Oh, yeah.
You guys write back to them?
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm a little bit slow on the thing today. There we go. Here we go. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the chat.
There's the chat in the bottom there.
And then could I write something back or no?
Yes, you see down in the bottom there. There's
where it
a
says private chat.
No, in the bottom right hand says
No.
type a message.
I think you might have to do it from your X though, since
Oh, okay. I don't have
Really?
that.
I don't know if they guess. I think so. Someone was saying that before.
Yeah, I don't have any option.
Hey everyone.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm
So I
sorry.
see them, but I can't respond. But there's a
But if you
private
go to
chat.
the stream-
So if someone says something,
Yeah.
I'll just let you guys know if I feel like I want to respond to it.
Yeah, otherwise I think if you just go through the stream on your X account through Lance's thing,
And welcome
you should be
to
able join the chat
Abundance
there.
Wednesday, where everything happens even on live.
It happens happening live.
What's happening? What is this? I feel like an 80-year-old. Who's talking?
We're doing it live.
Nigel is the only one on camera. Well, y'all saw us last week, apparently.
Yeah, we were having
We tried
we
to
didn't
hide
realize
that
we were
fact.
going live, but this is us this week.
I have nothing to hide.
You have nothing to hide.
No,
Well,
I can pick
neither
my
do
nose.
we.
I can pick my nose on camera. I don't mind.
Listen, well,
Do it.
Listen,
I'll give you $5.
I have explained before, because the question was, how come you don't go on the camera and show yourself? And I said, well, because while I'm sitting here, there's so many messages coming in and I'm looking at the equipment and stuff
Like
that
a
I'm
lot of
worried.
chaos.
Yes, that to the viewer, it probably looks like I'm not paying attention sometimes. Like, I'm over here talking and this guy isn't paying attention. I'm like, no, I'm paying attention, but I've got like my attention's divided. There's 50 things going on. But yeah. So today we were actually
navigating the bathtub and
that there's a lot
all
of
the stuff Lance
certainly
likes
there's technical.
to
We've
do
had a
in the
few technical
background.
issues. It's fine though. It's all right. Today we were going to do kind of a more just community highlights show, and it not that it is any different, but I saw earlier Tasha mentioned that she was going to drop her new film, or the date that she's going to drop it. And I was like, oh geez, maybe she wants to come by and hang out, because the last time she was here we were all just had the space thing running and she was down. So she's gonna drop that. Well, I've actually got it queued up, the little trailer she made for it, which looks sick, by the way. And yeah, and I'm hoping that she'll maybe give us a little bit of a dish on what she's doing with this thing. I'm super excited. I don't know if a lot of you have read 1984. I know that I kind of take it for granted that people have. Some people have seen some of the original movie and whatnot, but still haven't read the book. So
have you guys read it? Like in the comments, just so I'm gonna
Yes.
change it all if you know.
Yes.
Yes, if you've read it, if you have any comments, please comment in the thing. But I absolutely love it, and for me, the kind of backstory of well, the backstory that I know. That's why I really am looking forward to hear what Tasha has found out. But this backstory that I know of Orwell and why he wrote the book, or some of his motivations for writing it, were a little bit shocking to me, and I just feel that it's definitely a great lesson for our current times. But yeah,
So
oh
you're just gonna
looks.
tease people? Like,
Yes, no, but
it
I
will
want to, but
blow
well,
your
but
mind.
but I know as much as they know, and I know that you do your research, so that's why I'm super excited to see what you come out with.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
it's
very
kind of
excited.
like I think, the Marvel movies where all the comic book guys know what's gonna happen and we're just like man, I can't wait. Like after Endgame and stuff, we're all going nuts and people it's like you could just go read it. And I kind of feel that way with 1984. I'm like, well, guys, you have the book. Like it's not, and you know me, I stick to stuff. So there's only so much. But I think a lot of people haven't read it in a long time. So I'm a little nervous about some of the things people might not remember because it's kind of like like stuff that I'm like, oh man, YouTube might ban me for this or ban me for that, because there's some stuff he does, like he goes into, that's pretty like, oh boy. And then when I later, after I already committed to it, I found out why a lot of women hate it, and I guess feminists and stuff like that. And then I'm reading, I'm like, oh, that's a little like, but I understand why he made those choices, so I leave it all in there, and I'm just like, okay, we'll see.
It's really incredible how those early 1900s writers managed to be so contemporary to today. I had those kind of thoughts when I was doing audiobooks, Lovecraft audiobooks. There is so much stuff you can relate to today's time, despite being 100 and more years. And 1984 is incredible on that side as well, because it's still so contemporary. It doesn't even need too much to be updated.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the other thing. Like I didn't want to date it by trying to make it like fit this year or something. That's like, if you try to do the tech and everything, and who's that? What's happening?
Yeah.
That's gotta be the new people.
I'm muting them.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Like, I didn't want to do like the tech for, like, if you did the tech in the 80s, when you made it in the 80s, or for those who made it in the 60s, then you're dating that piece. And, I love that with the book, you have your unlimited imagination and the type of tech and all that kind of stuff. You can apply it to whatever time period you're in. So I try to retain a lot of that timelessness of it. So, we'll see. I must sound like I'm gonna say more, because every time I stop talking, people are like, "Oh."
So what was the final
I
runtime on it?
have to add some opening remarks, warnings, and some other stuff. But I'm guesstimating right now it'll be probably about closer to 27 minutes. So yeah, so I'm
Oh
over.
wow.
I like
Okay.
to make it come under what I promised, because people that if you go over it, people are like, "Ugh."
Awesome. I'm very excited for it. Do you
No,
have
I
plans? Are you
just
going to show
wanted to
the?
know, does it wildly diverge from kind of the mainstream knowledge? Have you found any like secret nuggets there? Because I saw a couple of things that you were talking about. For example, where he got the 1984, and I never knew that there was any kind of a discussion over where he got 1984, and I never really thought about it, but just that little bit, that you were already just researching that. I'm like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think in the way that it diverges in a sense is that I really wanted to get to the heart of what he was trying to convey. Like the hard part about 1984, because since I'm coming in and I like to do material to where I'm not that emotionally charged about it, so that I'm not too biased or anything like that, especially with something like 1984. But it's such a big influential book. but I'm not, that type of artist or that type of writer. I don't think, what Orwell was a very political person. His goal was to make, like an art form out of political writing. That's exactly what he said. But I'm trying to understand where the disconnect is with the public, which cherishes this book, and just how it's been represented and stuff like that, and what people aren't really and what people aren't really getting. So my goal was to try to really find what the heart of what's the issue, what is really the problem here, what's so bad about what he's talking about. And that, so in a way, going into the story and then starting to suspect some things after I read all of his works and all this kind of stuff, then started to suspect something. And then finally, when I went into the original manuscript, and a lot of the things that were left out were things that I was like I had hunches about, but I needed the confirmation because I didn't want to put my opinion or anything onto it. And as much as I can stay true to the material when I'm creating visuals over a lot of the stuff, there's so much room for me to distort what he did with the visuals, with the music, with the angle, with the cinematography, with anything. So for me, it's just like I really have to try to explore it and really understand where he was coming from and what happened. So that's in a sense like, everyone just focused on like, oh, it's 1980. Oh, he's, they're doing this. Like there are moments where I go there and I get to go ham, there. But for the most part, it's like, oh, this is what this story is about. Like, this is what he was trying to warn people about, like on a very personal level, how it affects you personally. So that's the challenge. And, we'll see if I get it. Like if we see if, I can deliver it, all that good stuff.
Well, if anybody can, I'm sure it is you. How many times have you read the book? Because I've actually read it twice. It's one of the few books that I've read a couple of times.
I've read it so many times. It's up there with Catcher in the Rye. I've read Catcher in the Rye more, but it's almost like if you ask me why do this film, like it's almost like asking a person like who composed a song, why'd you compose that song? It's almost hard to answer because it's so built into who I am as an artist. Like even the book I did, Serial Killer, I see a lot of influence from 1984 there. Like just for whatever reason, I have no idea why. It's like I'm just so influenced by this book. I don't even remember what your question was.
How many times you read the book?
Oh, how many? Oh, countless times.
Okay.
And this time, so many times I know it. If you probably read one sentence to me out loud, I could tell you where in the book not what page, but like where in the book, that part comes. Like, and then in a month or two, I will have completely forgotten most of it. That's just the way my brain works.
Yeah, I have that same problem because I've read it, but it's been like a long time since I read it, and it's sitting on our bookshelf downstairs. And I was like, I should reread it before Tasha comes, and I didn't get a chance to. So I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, but I don't remember every detail.
I would say watch it and then reread it. Hopefully, hopefully. That's the other thing is like on one hand, like I want people to want to read the book after, kind of like with Catcher in the Rye, people who were like, I always thought that book was, shite and all that kind of stuff. Like they're like, I think I'll read it now. Like that's ultimately always the goal because that, that can do much more for you than a 27-minute film on it.
I'm super duper looking forward to it. I'm as far as when you, because I don't know if you really want to say, but as far as when you made this one, do you feel that your knowledge of making the videos himself has increased since Bruce Lee? And do you want to say what you used to make this one? I don't know if you want to mention the tools or.
It has increased a lot. I mean, you definitely learn a lot when you're doing something 28 minutes, but everything has a different I mean, the tools are always changing and everything, every project requires its own different approaches and different tools at times and things like that. But I will say, as far as tools go, a lot of the trick is to combine tools and things like that. Not just sometimes for censorship purposes. Maybe this one won't get it. Like I use Kling for the majority of my visuals. You see a lot of that in iAxman. And then like if Kling doesn't allow weapons, like just to show weapons and stuff like that. As far as like if I'm just showing tanks or military things, it's just like no, we're not. Like there's some things that I just I'll go to Luma for, or Hailalulu, or
I don't know how
yeah,
to say it
or
either.
Google. I tried their VO stuff. It it looks great, but you can't do images with people in it. So 99% of my storytelling and the way I do is out because their censorship stuff is just so high. Um, but yeah, so like even with lip sync and stuff, so so like I'll do what you call a Hedra character 3, and then have those performances go do the work for act 1 with runway, so that I'm still getting the camera movement and stuff. So I'm generating the Mid Journey, of course, is great because I have to paint pretty much everything. I spend in painting is 80% of what I do for a shot, especially with storytelling, especially with trying to get a certain amount of consistency to where people are like, oh, we're still in the same place, opposed to like, how do we, like, where are we now? Is this the same house? So I'm literally have to paint every shot. And a lot of times I'm using these shots for 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. So you guys are like, how long is this? Well, today I got 5 seconds done. Thank me. But so I'm painting everything with that. If, like I said before, if Leonardo will play along, I'll run the image through that to give it a little bit more of a cinematic look. And then upscale it with Topaz, Gigapixel, run it through Kling, and then like you'll have the Hedra, and then put that performance through Act 1 with Runway. That's the only thing I use Runway for is Act 1. I'm too lazy to do that. I tried the Dramina, which is the Omni Human or whatever, for the character for the lip sync, and that only works like half the time. Most of the time, it's like, oh, there's too many users, or the system won't allow this for whatever reason. Like they don't even know. So it did it for so many of it. I just couldn't use it. So Hedra 3 is pretty good for doing, because I'm not going to do all those performances, and people talk way more than they should in my films. You guys way more. These people are some chatty Cathys. I'm like, oh, if you just shut up, like we could, I could just skate through this scene. But yeah, I got to do all that, and yeah, upscale with Topaz again, video AI.
Do you have to
So
top
how
up?
do you?
What's top up?
Top up your Kling credits. I asked because I literally ran out of my Kling credits yesterday. Like I had 30 credits left, but the plus side was it was also my day to re-up, so I didn't have to add extra this month. But
well, the nice part about taking your time with these projects is you get to spread it out over a couple of months. So sometimes I could be like, well, I'll save these shoots and I'll work on something else until the credits refill. However, after I called out Kling in my last interview with Rad TV for having a creator partnership program that required advertising, I think they knew I was referring to them when I said what I do is worth more than $100 a month. The next business day, they're like, we've changed our policy. I'm like, oh man. And they sent a bunch of so I sold out and I took the credit. So a lot of this was done with like, the credits that they put in my account. And then Rad TV they did a post about Kling's, the fact that I use Kling. And then the next day, Kling was like, oh, you know what? We didn't give you we accidentally forgot to give all of the credit. So then I got more for some odd reason. So, that helped a little
Kling,
bit.
if you're listening, you owe me some credits too. There was,
maybe I would also like some credits.
We're waiting. Exactly.
But when I ran out of those, because this is, there is 27, with so many short shots, it requires a lot. I just create a new account because it's cheaper to subscribe and create a new account than to buy the credit packs. So you create like a second account and stuff like that, and however many you need.
So I had a question about just your workflow, because I know you spend a lot of time doing your research phase. So what are you doing? Are you like researching and writing your script at the same time and starting to generate shots and going between it all? Or do you have a process where you like research first and then write and then put it all together? Or how do you bring it all
I
together.
definitely have to research first everything. I can't write anything until I have it all in my head, like everything. I can't. And then, kind of like I've said before, then I have to wait. Just because I've researched it all, which, could take a couple weeks, doesn't mean that I've have permission yet to create the thing. That's just me being curious and and wanting to know, but I need like permission from whatever creative forces are out there to be like, okay, this material is something that is something you could tell, like permission in that way. And the way I get that permission a lot of times is I'll get the opening, I'll get an invitation to do it, like the visuals and all that. Will like, this is how you started this, and then I'm like, okay, but I need to have like some sort of like, I need to feel some sort of permission to do it. I can't just do it because I'm interested in it. Like I have to like, especially if I'm telling someone else's story, like with Bruce Lee or Maya Angelou or John McAfee or anything like that. It's like you're telling someone else's life story, and there's some people who that's all they're really gonna know that person for, and it's such a big, like a reverent thing. I mean, we're talking about gods here. Everybody's a god. So I'm like, this is another god I'm dealing with. Like, so I definitely need like to feel like a certain thing with that. And then I can write. I start on the yellow pad, and I just start, I go from there. I start just writing, and then eventually I'll switch over to typing. And then, then there.
So it's like the overall process of like making the video itself and getting all your footage and doing the editing and everything, how much time did that
I mean,
take
that's
you in
about a month. So
comparison to-
pre-production's about a month. Post-production, that is a month. That's the easy part, like the creating it. Like I get to have the sitcoms in the background when I'm doing, like, that's like my favorite part is I'm chilling. And then post-production comes, and that's when you're rewriting again, in a sense, and editing to where you're telling the story again, making sure it all works and flows. And because as a lot of directors say, you just shoot the stuff to get the material to edit with. And and that's where the hard work comes again, and your last chance to really sell it. I do the music a lot of times. Sometimes I'm the music is before I start writing. Sometimes the music is while I'm writing. It helps more and more for me to get the music when I'm writing, because I need to, like, it helps me to get the tone in my head, the vibe of like what, like I got to get the tone right, like, and the music helps me with that. So a lot of times before, when I first started, like a lot of people, you put the music in at the end, you like the way you would do a traditional film. A lot of times you bring the composer in, sometimes, except Martin Scorsese, who also in the writing process has the music figured out. And it was like, if he's working with a writer, he says, hey, put that song right there, and da da da. So some of us do the music earlier, but like I'm one of the people who like to have the music now up front. Especially it helps too with the production part when you're creating the visuals, to understand how long certain shots need to be, and stuff like that. Because so I'm doing the music, I'm writing, and then I do all the dialogue. And I lay that down on the editing thing, and then I have a better idea of how long certain scenes and certain shots need to be based on that.
Man, I would love to get all that down somehow to
No, you
like
wouldn't. No, you
share.
wouldn't. It's
Sure,
awful.
yes. Yes, I tell you, we've got a
It's
lot of people.
awful.
No, we've got a lot of people that want to share their workflows now. I generally
I don't. I
bristle.
hate talking
I
about it.
I understand, but a lot of people, and myself included, I kind of bristle at the idea of a workflow, just because I feel like it kind of puts me in a box. And
Mhm.
frankly, every single time that I go and make something, it is slightly different from me,
Mhm.
because I approach it from the point of view of what I'm trying to make, and then how do I make that, not like, okay, here's my pipeline, and now let me start filling in,
Right.
the pipeline, because I feel like it keeps me in a box. So if I want to teach anybody, if I wanted to share my knowledge with anybody, it would be what you can do with the different tools, how you could use Photoshop in your stuff, how you can, use a reframe from Luma right now. I'm really digging that reframe. That has helped a lot with various things. But
Yeah, it's all mixing a bunch of tools, and that's why it's not, it's hard to promote any one tool because it's, sometimes you got to throw something even in Canva for some people that probably be Photoshop and
Yeah.
remove the background just to get,
Yeah.
the shot to work a certain way, and then put it back onto the scene so that like it's everything. It's every tool at your disposal, and the more you do it, the more it comes. And a lot of stuff like you're visualizing, editing is the big part. Like the main thing is thinking creatively on a shot. Don't write um thinking, can I do this or can't I do that? Write, and you'll figure out how to get it done. Like you just will. If you can think it, if you can see it in your head, you can execute it, period. Like that's would be my best advice.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually just telling Lance that yesterday. It's like because that's one of the things we'd like to try to get people thinking about is what AI can do in terms of opening up your imagination, and the tool you use to do it is less relevant because your goal or inspiration should start with, hey, I can make this cool thing if I learn how to do it. And then you start with,
Yeah.
the cool thing you want to make in mind, and then you figure out what tools you need to bring that to life. And like you said, you might be bouncing around 50 different tools because you're just finding what works for you, and you'll learn how to do it along the way, but not boxing yourself into
Yeah,
tools. I agree. It's just better to like have the creative freedom to do what you want to
there's a
do.
YouTube video for everything, and literally I'm constantly learning
Exactly.
with everything. Like I'm always learning like how to do something new or whatever. How I want that to go from black and white to color, in the scene, like, basic stuff. Like when you're starting out, like you don't go, I don't know how to do that. So let me just like, that's all filmmaking has ever been. AI has not changed that. It's always been problem solving. It's always been figuring out how can I, get this on camera, get this on screen, how can I do this? So, and that's the fun. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. That's just problem solving.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's I think a good point for everyone listening too, because we were just talking before the show a little bit of just about all the craziness that goes on, and trying to be on X and trying to keep up with all the changes in the tools and the this and the that. There's always a billion new things coming out. And so I think just probably focusing on our projects and the fun we want to have, and then figuring out what tool we need to do that the best is a better way than trying to constantly keep up with every single update that comes out, because it just becomes
Yeah.
overwhelming. And to me it's like, well, it's nice, I'm glad to see these companies are doing these things, but I don't have time to go
Right.
look at all of them. So when I need to make a project, I'll figure out what I need to make the
Yeah,
project.
there's literally like for probably YouTube got people teaching AI that I think you could follow and you'll pretty much be good. You don't have to keep up with every update on X or anything like that, and all that. You'll like, I love Tao prompts, TAO prompts. Yeah,
Yes, me too.
Cyber Jungle's pretty good. There's some that focus on a lot on just like exploring every new lip sync model and doing that. I think a guy named like Excalibur or something like that is. So it's just about. So sometimes it's just about that, and they'll put out something once a week and keep it moving. And I'm like, that's pretty much all you need. I have seen tips and tricks here, whatever, but it's not worth your peace of mind if it's gonna make the whole AI filmmaking which is your life. Like this is your life. If it's gonna make it less enjoyable, just having all that noise constantly on it, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You'll figure it out like on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
So, speaking of your newest film here, on top of you being so good at dropping in on us today and telling us a little bit about your film, you also gave me, hold on, let me cue this up. You also gave us a little promo that you have for it.
Yeah, this is,
I
I
haven't
guess, the
looked.
date. You haven't looked?
No, I haven't looked. I haven't
I
looked.
was
I
like
wanted to
thinking, I
be,
was like, he knows
no,
what day it is earlier. He's doing a pretty good job of not
no.
blabbing it because he seems like a blabbermouth. So
I
I'm
seem
like,
like, no,
What,
I'm a blabbermouth.
Lance?
I'm just
so I was,
sharing. I'm
so
just
I was
trying to
like,
share.
wow, like I just, I gave him. He always wanted the date first. He kind of already. Hey, when you find out, I want
That's
to
right.
schedule you on the
We
show.
wanted to know. We wanted to
So
share.
yeah, so it has the date and it's really short. Like, the song, which is a song, well, you guys might not recognize it, but it's from the book. It's in the book. It's played a couple times in the book, and the why I say it's in the book is because it's based off of a Glenn Miller song, and Orwell just changed a couple of the words for it. So you still have a little bit of that, or whatever. And I'm feeling it so much it's in my head, but I had to shorten this little thing because everybody just wants to know the date. They don't want to hear the song. Y'all don't want to hear the song. So I'm just like, just give them the date. Like it's not. So it's weird for me because it's like 10 lines from the song or something. But I know you guys don't really want to listen to a song. So then you just, when is it? What is it? So yeah, it's got the date in it.
And here it is. Under the Chestnut Tree in 1984.
You got the sound on because it starts right out the gate. The song.
No, it's going to definitely be sound on.
Okay.
Under the spreading chestnut tree, I sold you and you sold me.
We get to see what he's been watching with his recommendations too.
Yeah, exactly. What is it? Well, that's not me. That's not
Girls
actually.
Gone Wild.
No, you know what? Actually, that wouldn't be me. That would be Lisa.
Girls
I don't
Gone
actually.
Wild in Peru. Girls Gone Wild in Argentina.
Yeah, it's definitely not mine.
I never actually look at the what do you call it? YouTube.
I think they just put up whatever in there.
Sure.
June 5th.
Yes,
all
June
right.
5th.
June
So we'll
5th.
be back from Vegas and can actually watch it when it comes out.
June 5th, the
Yeah.
day after Abundance Wednesday, the 4th.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
And
tired.
yeah, same here. Talk about tired. We're gonna be super tired. And
Yeah,
we're gonna
it's
be
the,
tired together.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are gonna be back. I definitely didn't want to do that, but I also didn't want to do it on Memorial Day weekend because that's not a good look. while we're honoring our soldiers, like here's 1984. Like I was like, that's not.
I don't know. That does honor them. It really does, in fact.
Well, yeah, if you know Orwell, like he wasn't against patriotism, like in that, but he knew that the dangers of it and the religiosity, like where all that went. So I'm like, it's just not a good look. So I'm like, I definitely want to do it after that. I really wanted that date. Number one, it's the weekend of the anniversary of the book, of the publication of 1984. It's published on June 8th, and I would have done it on June 8th, but it's a Sunday, and I think that that's a bad day to release a film. Because people go right back to work and everything on Monday, so you really only have like one day to get any momentum and stuff like that. And then there was the other opportunity. Well, I can wait to do it on June 13th, which was the anniversary of the U.S. publication of the book. That's Friday the 13th. So, but apparently the trailer already had a horror feel, which I wasn't expecting. And then if I did Friday the 13th, I'm like, I'm really setting this up for failure because people are like expecting, some people are like, oh, wow, this is like some M. Night Shyamalan. I'm like, well, not really. So I'm like, I can't really keep sticking with this horror thing. And I needed to find a date where, and I was really hoping to get this date, June 5th, because like I said, I like to do the Thursday of the weekend, but also, well, yeah, for that reason, but I needed it to be ready. Like I didn't want to force it to where I'm like, it still is going to be forced, because you can keep working on it forever. But I wanted a date where I'm like, okay, I can get it to where I'm pretty like, okay, I'm good with it. And so this week on Monday, I was like, okay, I think I can do this date. So yeah.
Sounds like you put a lot of thought into this, even down to the releases, when you release, and so on.
Flag Day's the next week too. After it, I'm like, man, there's so many now like patriotic holidays. I'm like, I'm getting boxed in here. I think they said Trump created 2 more I'm like, I'm trying to find something to where it's not against, it's not right? Anti any of this stuff.
Do they involve hot dogs as well?
Hot dogs. Oh, yeah, is that like I don't follow this. So I'm sure that's like a reference to the patriotism.
I don't know how that became part of a thing, but I grew up in a world where hot dogs did. We don't eat them anymore, but anyway.
Anyway, Anyway, all
Yeah,
right.
that
Well,
was
thank you,
weird.
Tasha, for coming today.
Oh, no problem. You guys have fun in
Because it's gone.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Hey,
wish you were
AI
coming. It's going
music.
to
Hello,
be a
hello,
ton of
hello, hello,
fun.
hello.
But
Can you
yeah,
hear me now?
where's
Oh,
oh yeah, we
sorry.
can hear you
Sorry.
now.
I don't
You
know
still like
what.
dropped out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
I
sorry.
guess that's all for Lynn.
Vegas
Um,
took my Megan niece. I think you guys know what I mean by my Megan niece. You know, Megan Thee Stallion. That drop. That drop.
oh,
Yeah,
yes.
it took my Megan
Oh,
niece
Yes.
on the Super Bowl. I was out there for Super Bowl like 2 years ago. What's 2 years ago now? And I still haven't got my Megan niece back. So I can't with Vegas. I'm too wild for that city. Like
Oh,
y'all don't
yeah.
want to see that side of me. You're not gonna respect me anymore at all. They're like, wow, she's such a hoe.
What? Never. Never.
I had no idea.
Well, now you've got to come. Now this just
No,
sounds really
yeah.
spicy. Come on. Now the party just got wild. Okay.
I've been like living in the woods the last few years. So it's going to be like really culture shock for me. Like, who are all these people and where did they come
Yeah,
from?
I think you guys will be a part of a good crowd to where you won't see like the Vegas I would show you.
Ooh. Where is this Vegas? Can you draw us a map?
Oh, Lord.
Here you go. Here, treasure map. Treasure map.
So thank you very much for coming today and sharing
thank
this
you.
with us. We are super looking forward to it. I just love Orwell, and I love the story, and I'm really looking forward to see what you've done with it. Yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
anything
let's go,
else?
Sherry. No, thank you so much. I just wanted to say thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'm
We love
looking
you
forward to
too.
hearing what. Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing Abundance and Lauren, sorry, talk about her film, because it's refreshing to see a big project like that be released, and what Nigel got to say.
4 years. 4 years
Yeah.
she's been working on that.
That's
Lauren,
amazing. I
you know,
love that. I love that.
I get tired of things after about 4 months. I'm like, okay, this is getting boring. 4
I think-
years?
Very.
Like, wow.
I think
That's
Lauren,
dedication.
I unmuted Lauren, so hopefully we can hear her. I know she was having some technical difficulties and was going to
Come
try
in,
to
Lauren.
rejoin.
Can we hear you?
See,
wait,
and that's
can you
the
guys hear me?
problem, is you
Oh,
get
yep.
tired after 4
There,
months.
we can hear.
Okay, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I just got home, so if I need to change to my laptop, I can do that.
All right, well,
It
we
kinda
can hear you
kept
for
kicking
now.
me
Hello.
out. Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tasha, again.
Thank
And I
you.
guess that's a good segue over to Lauren, who we were excited. Oh, yep, Lauren, is that you? Yeah, you might have to try from your laptop. I can hear you typing. Hey, it's not me typing right now. She's joining from her laptop, so we'll give her a chance to reconnect.
Ah.
In
Well, in the meantime, yeah. In the
got-
meantime, we've got Luna Vega here and
Woohoo!
DJ
Hello,
Squircle.
hello.
I see they're wearing some of the new fancy merch for AI
Oh,
Music
yeah.
Video Festival. That's
What's up,
nice.
internet?
The poster looks awesome. I don't know if you guys all saw, but the AI Music Video channel posted the poster for the festival, and it looks great.
Oh, I can. Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us?
We can.
Yes, we hear
Looks like
you.
we've got Lauren back
Check
too,
it
I think.
out.
Okay, I hope this works.
Awesome. Yes, we
Okay.
can hear you now. We just heard a bunch of typing, but now
It
we've
kept
got
kicking
you.
me out.
They're just showing the they're showing the festival
Oh,
video
cool.
for Las Vegas next
Oh my
weekend.
gosh.
Or
You
poster,
know what?
not
It's
video.
strange because can you see how it's mirrored? It's basically backwards in the camera. That's weird.
Yeah. I think it sets it to mirror your thing. Wait, are they muted again? Well, we
I
don't
did
have
not
them
mute them.
muted. Awesome. Well, we'll talk more about Vegas at the end of the show, and we'll tell everybody what's going on. But since we've got Lauren back, we'll go ahead and talk about, so Lauren, thank you for joining Spur of the Moment. But for those of you who have been following Abundance Wednesdays for a while now, Lauren was one of our first guest, I think, on one of our original shows that we were doing the Spaces on X, and she came to talk to us at that time about what she's been working on and the unbanked Bitcoin documentary that she's working on. And it's been a work in progress, and she's, I think, finally getting ready to release it soon. And the trailer's dropping tomorrow. So we were really excited to get her back on here. And I was just telling her that Lance and I were wanting to have her back on when we had this stream up and running so everybody could get to know her again. And this was kind of perfect timing. I'm sure we'll want to have her back after it actually comes out too. So we'll have lots of more of Lauren. But thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm trying to think what we talked about when I came on the first time. I don't even remember which AI projects I had done yet. I don't think the bakery cat thing, which is my favorite, came out
You
yet.
had not done that.
Yeah,
Nope.
that was my favorite. I think probably the one that
You were at, I'm looking at my notes.
I think we
that
were
I always
we were
keep, and you
talking
were
about
in
the
January
documentary.
22nd. It was our second show, and you came on and you were talking about the documentary. And
yeah,
that's
okay.
pretty much what we were talking about. You had made bakery. Yeah. So if you guys didn't see Lauren's bakery cat, it was super cute. I saw it and then it like went viral. It blew up. Everybody was liking it. And it's really, really cute. So I think Lauren might have a career in making quirky cat videos.
You know, I
as
couldn't
well.
complain. It's kind of like it was a fun project, and I don't know, I'm a big like cat lover, so it was fun, and I feel like it kind of achieved the goal. I just wanted, I feel like sometimes, especially like on X, things can be really doom and gloom. And I felt like, we need like a really feel good cat video that just makes people feel good. So that was kind of just a goal with that one. I was just having fun. But so I can just kind of give some context, I guess. I got into filmmaking about 4 years ago, actually, more on the documentary side. And I kind of got into Bitcoin and crypto first. So I was always kind of nerdy and very like tech, like really into tech. But I got into Bitcoin, and around that same time, I was like, I really wanted to get into film. But I didn't go to film school. So Tasha, I know you went to USC, and I was always going to ask you if you went to film school there. So I played beach volleyball at USC, but at the time I did not know I wanted to get into film. So I didn't major in film, which is so sad because it's like the best film school. So I didn't really know that I wanted to get into film until way later. Oh,
Yeah, I went to
Tasha,
film
did you
school,
go to
sorry.
film school?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It was good.
Yeah, I hear it's like the best film school, and I was so sad later that I didn't realize that sooner. But so it's like it's harder when you later in life realize you really want to get into film and figuring out how to do that. And that's why I'm so excited about AI, because I feel like it's it's changing the barrier of entry there for everybody. And if you have a story now, you can just tell it. But at that time, I really was interested in Bitcoin, and I had written scripts about Bitcoin, like part fictional, part true, and I had no way of getting those made. So I'm hoping one day with AI, I'll actually make that. But at the time, it was, I saw a way to create a Bitcoin documentary, had a really good idea for it, and then just sort of found the right investors and the right partners, and it kind of just took shape. So we started officially on it in October of 2021. And it is like, 4 years later? I mean, it's such a long process. And I think that's also something that I've been super excited with AI about, is I think you can make really powerful stories in the fraction of that time. So I love traditional filmmaking. I love documentaries, but I'm also super excited about AI and just experimenting with it and just trying things out. So the film is just really like an easy kind of entry to Bitcoin for people. And we shot it kind of all over the world. And it's cool. I'm really excited. We have some really big names in there. I'm not sure how many of you are really into the Bitcoin crypto space or not, but it's really beautifully shot. Oh, you are? Okay, great. So it's really beautifully shot.
I think there's quite a few out there who are.
Okay, good. So very beautifully shot, and I'm really excited about it. I think it'll tell a really good story of Bitcoin and make it a little bit more relatable for people who don't know anything about it. I don't know what else really to say about it, but check out the trailer tomorrow. We're gonna launch it tomorrow afternoon, and then the film we have more that we'll announce with kind of the distribution of the film, which will happen. We'll start talking about that probably in the next few weeks, but I don't really know what else to say about it.
So since you've been working on it for a while, do you feel like any of the key parts that were shot in there, like, is it all still relevant? Is there anything that's changed since you initially started it that would have affected your overall story you're
Yeah.
trying to tell?
So, definitely, things change in 4 years. I mean, it's really hard to make something relevant from,
Yeah.
when you first start until now. And I think that was something we had to, we originally planned for it to be out way sooner. And, just things like this, it's really hard with those types of productions when there's multiple, people involved and, agents, and you gotta, the distribution is much different. I think I'm also very excited. One thing I talked about previously was I'm very excited about social media distribution, and like, so, that's not something we're going to do with this film, but, just in general, like there's just so many factors, and it can take a lot longer than planned to get something like that out. And yeah, we kind of had to adjust as time went on. And I think we did it in a way that sort of is relevant. It will always be relevant because we're kind of documenting, when you're making a documentary, you're documenting life. And I think we documented Bitcoin the best way we could for the time period that it was shot in. And it's still gonna, I think it'll be pretty relevant there. I think some things, like current events that happen during it, like that will always, there will not be current events in a year or two and going forward. But I think there is something where, part of the documentary can be about documenting that time period. And so we try to kind of balance that out with, having relevant events for the time and capturing the essence of that time period, but also having messages that will be timeless. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what you think, but I think we did a good job at balancing that out.
I'm looking forward to it as a crypto newbie. I love anything that can make it a little bit more explainable or relatable to myself. Can you tell us, or is that a secret in the film, but would you recommend people getting into Bitcoin or crypto in general?
Yeah, that's a hard, I mean, like I never want to give financial advice. The whole point of the documentary is really just to get people to understand the technology and then to make the choice for themselves or do their own research. So for me, like I got into Bitcoin because actually my dad introduced me to it, which is kind of wild because my dad is like 70 years old and he got into it pretty early. And, he's always been a kind of like libertarian, like really, he's tired of, the way that America prints money and we handle our financial system. And so that's kind of how he got into it. And that's what kind of sparked my interest. So it's really kind of about, what the issue is with money right now and kind of how corrupt that system is with money. And, Bitcoin, whether it fixes that issue or not, it's kind of been a movement that has brought awareness to that issue. And, we don't have the answers and we're not going to say, yes, this is a great investment, but it's really just an invitation to understand what the technology is besides the number going up. And just really getting people to understand it. I think a lot of people, I mean, I get it. Like some people have made so much money off of it. And so a lot of people look at it as just an investment, but the technology is really interesting. And so yeah, that's kind of the goal. I think if you really understand it, then you can do your own research and make that decision for yourself. But I would never want to tell anybody to like buy something,
All right, Lauren told me to
Yeah,
take
right.
out all my savings and put it in Bitcoin. You heard it
Yeah,
here.
so yeah.
No, I agree. I think it's great that you're spreading the message, and especially because like I've started looking into Bitcoin and all of that like several years ago, but still kind of under the radar. It's, I guess funny if you're in certain circles of anything, you feel like everyone knows about that thing, but then you go out to the outside world and people are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it was like that back around 2017.
Totally. Yeah, and
or
that was kind
so.
of the goal is
People-
I felt like it was very misunderstood and I felt like there needed to be something that was a compelling story that got people that aren't already into it to want to understand and relate to it. Because I think there is so much to relate to just as a human being on Earth, like everybody has to deal with money. And I think a lot of us don't even understand how that money works, and we use it every day. And it's a really, it's a very, like money itself is very interesting in how it's just the financial system in general. So Yeah, that's kind of the goal of it. But yeah, it's very misunderstood.
Well, you're going to be in Vegas next week, and it's funny because I was just about to talk to Tony and Laura, and then they
Yeah.
popped off.
Yeah.
But they should be back. But anyway, you're going to be in Vegas next week for the Bitcoin 2025 conference, and are you speaking there or just attending?
No, just attending this year. I'll be there pretty much like all week. So I'll be there Monday. The conference is like the 27th through the 29th, I think. And then staying the last couple of days, which originally I didn't even realize there was an AI thing going on. And my husband and I were just like, yeah, we'll just like stay for a couple of days, you know, if we're already there. And then I realized all this stuff was going on. So yeah, super excited. So I'd love to meet up with anybody that's around.
Awesome. Yeah,
we will see you there.
We will for sure. So we were talking about meeting up probably a little bit while we're there, and a couple of the folks that are in the chat right now, like Sherry and Brian, are all going to be there too. So it should be a ton of fun. Of course, Tony and Laura will be there, and all the rest of the gang. We're going to talk to them next.
Awesome.
But yeah, so looking forward to meeting you in person next week. Thanks for stopping by today. It was fun.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Lauren.
Lauren, we owe you a sweatshirt because I see that you paid for your ticket and you're actually an OCME member. So when you're,
I thought she was. I was trying to tell her, like, I think you're on this stream.
Honestly, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and she was like, "Oh, I think like I don't know. I just was totally out of it." So
it's okay.
No, I appreciate that.
No worries. Yeah, we owe you a sweatshirt, so come find me when you're there.
I will. That sounds great. Thank you so much.
We can nerd out on blockchain.
I would love that. Yeah, any chance I have to nerd out on AI and or Bitcoin or two together, I'm there.
I'm curious. Do you remember this era of
yes.
Bitcoin?
Oh yes. Is that when he got flipped off by Roger Ver?
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's always going to be a pretty iconic video.
Yeah.
Super iconic.
It's like, okay, yeah. Cool. I can't wait to see your movie about Bitcoin.
Thank you.
It sounds
I appreciate
cool,
it.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited.
Awesome. Hey, Tony and Laura, thank you guys for joining us today. We're super excited for next week. We get to see you guys in person. Like I was joking the other day, to see if you guys really exist. I keep saying I'm like not totally convinced I'm not going to drive to Vegas and just be there by myself. And they'll say there never was any conference going on here.
What? Did you think your internet friends were really going to meet you here?
It's like, it sounds pretty ridiculous, doesn't it?
Thinking it could be a deep fake.
We're talking to a rabbit and a hare. I mean, we might be worried.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if Lance shows up looking like the rabbit. I'm gonna have to back out of all this.
Listen. Y'all chose my clothes. This is unfair. Even Neri is giving me lip over my clothes.
Joking about.
No, I'm not wearing. Now I'm wearing something else. Neri doesn't like my pants. That's it.
No. They look hot. They like you might get heat stroke.
They are hot. It is a hot costume.
We're worried about you.
So yes.
Anyway.
We've got our festival leaders with us, the venerable Luna Vega and DJ Squircle. They are you guys are getting to Vegas about a week ahead of time, right?
We arrive on Sunday, yes.
Okay, so nice. You're going to be well and cooked by the time we get there. Nice.
We haven't looked at the weather.
No, it shouldn't be. I mean, well, it's Vegas, so it's going to be warmer.
It's been like cold and dreary where I live, and it still feels a little bit like winter. So it's going to be really crazy going to where it's actually summer.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we can't wait. I know this week we've been doing a lot of programming. I know Tony's been working with the West Coast AI Labs group. We've got the whole underground DJ event I don't know if you guys have been seeing the teasers from Blacklight, but I mean, I'm like so excited to see that at night outside. It's going to be so much. You can film in on.
Yeah, last year we definitely met and started getting some network in the Las Vegas Arts District. So if you haven't or don't know about the Arts District, it's a different side of Vegas altogether. So we're going to be having the Las Vegas Underground. It's at the Audio Bar, and they have a gigantic LED screen, and then they said we can project onto 3 other walls. So I'm bringing a projector. Desnoff is bringing a projector. Blacklight is making, well, everyone's making Blacklight, Wonderworld, and Hackster are going to be making the visuals. But what I've been working on, which has been a dream of mine for a long time, to like video DJ, because I've been a bedroom DJ forever and not a great one until I was like the after DJ party for a music video show, and actually got to practice a lot, so I can actually DJ a little bit better now. But doing that live with video, that has sort of been ever since I saw like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have like all this cool video. I was like, well, how do I like just live video DJ that? And so we're literally going to be packing up on Saturday. This entire, like literally everything you see here is like getting packed up. The subwoofer, the speakers, like not that gigantic TV, but so what I'm working on this week is, because we got upgraded Resolume Avenue. Thank you, AM Music, which means we can project from one PC with one MIDI controller and control up to 4 different screens at the same time, and do like effects and have like videos like bouncing around and or moving back and forth, or like one of the videos, like if a guy's running like with a transparent background, he could be like running back and forth across like all the videos, and then a different one would just be like the scene. Like there's so many possibilities. I'm just pumped. I've been AI coding for a long time, and so my brain gets to do something else this week, which is really nice. I can talk a lot.
Ooh,
so.
it looks exciting. Everything you were showing me. And what's the one little thing that you have? It's the little MIDI controller you were showing. It's like a small one with a bunch of little keys on it. Looked fun.
So this is the trick. If you want to do any like live video stuff, Resolume is a software you need, and you just get one of these little MIDI fighters.
Yeah, MIDI fighter. And there it is.
It's super flexible because Resolume is just it's like a spreadsheet for your videos. And then this is, it's got knobs, you can press them and twist them. So just the creative live freedom you have to do like cool stuff with video performance is, it's kind of crazy. Like we haven't even really scratched the surface yet. So
are you bringing your Rodecaster, by the way?
I am, because it is the mixture.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you about it later.
The movie.
I'll talk to you about it later. No, because I've got some other.
The reason I'm bringing it,
I'll get in trouble,
is so that we can have a dance party in the movie theater. So my broadcaster will be used to like mix the PA in the movie theater. And I'm sure yours is being used for like live broadcasting.
No, I actually, I'll talk to you about it later, but I actually had a secondary thought that might be better.
All right.
But yes, for the Abundance Awards are going to be at District North, and there's apparently a fancy theater where we're going to be.
Awesome theater. It is a super nice. They come in, they'll take your order, bring you drinks and food, and we have a whole area down there with couches, and like there's enough room down there for like the DJ, and it's like super awesome. Yeah.
Sweet. Super duper looking forward.
All right. Well, I'm dressing up, so you guys better dress up too.
Show us your clothes. You got your costumes? Costumes, if you call it costumes.
He's got his hats on right now.
Or hats. So you definitely need a cool hat at least, So I got 2 cool hats. Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
And then now we're thinking for the underground DJ event, we should go neon.
Ooh.
So I'm
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Neon.
Looking for some like neon leg warmers, neon it up.
All right. Well, I showed Lauren my costume today, so she's
it looks so good.
I feel
so
like
good.
Thank you.
Show here. Lance is showing off his costume. You've shown off your costume, Lisa. I think I need to see this.
I showed you what I was getting.
Yeah. Yes.
So we have I just wanted to bring up the site real quick for AI Music Video Festival. if you don't have your tickets. Now, I wanted to point out, because we just had, Lauren was just on, and she is an ACME member, and I think bought her own tickets. But I believe that here, when you come up, if it says an active OCME member, and requires approval, basically, I forget exactly how I did it, but I think when you hit the get ticket, you put in your email, and wasn't that the way it worked?
Yeah, you can put in your
So,
email and your Twitter handle,
Yeah,
and then I can
Right.
verify that.
and
s-
if you have something on the AI music video stream, you're automatically an OCME member. So if you're a little confused about whether you are or not, if you've been on the stream at all, you automatically are. So you should be able to get
Yep.
in free.
right. So in other words, you do not have to pay.
No. So
Um,
I just plug our,
Also known as free.
can I plug our sponsors real quick? I just want to give them a quick
Absolutely. That's what I was seeing here.
Yes.
We've got
I want to do a shout out to Imagine AI Live. We're going to be there Thursday, DJ after party. DJ Squirkle is going to be on the decks there, and we're going to be showcasing all our creators' videos that night. We also have Curious Refuge, who's donated some fun stuff. We have Gato, who sponsored the event. Thank you for joining us. And I see that a lot of people are like following them. I encourage it. They're a great gaming company. You can learn more about them. We also just added Foxtel Studio. Yeah, they're in that crypto world, blockchain, but they also are doing a lot with AI videos. So thank you all for sponsoring and helping us get the festival off the ground, and to, of course, our amazing partners, Abundance Wednesdayz and West Coast AI Labs. Like, last year was so crazy for DJ Squirkle and I that this year we love having partners that we can all share in it. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for inviting us to host the awards. And I did want to let people listening know that just because there are a couple questions about what the awards are all about. And since Lance and I are hosting the awards and we're all about the abundance, we just really wanted to use the opportunity to kind of recognize the people in the community who are really, I would say, kind of the heart of the stream and this what we're doing here. And we're not looking to say like best of this and that, just because really what I think the vibe we've been trying to build this year is just more of like the family and the community, and it's really just great. The stream really wouldn't happen obviously without people participating and being part of the community, or what makes it. It's not just whoever uploads the most content. It's like making it fun and exciting, and why should people even be part of it? So we love having people here as part of this community and on our show, and helping spread the abundance of AI and just the fun and the joy. And we're really appreciative of all of you guys. And I know Tony and Laura and Lance and I just, love every one of you guys. And again, it's just kind of an acknowledgement of those of you who've really gone above and beyond to make it what it is and be part of everything. And we're just happy to celebrate, I think, the year we've had together, because I know it's been pretty life changing for me being part of all this. And, we're just grateful to have the opportunity to be there and meet you guys in person.
And we also just want to see if all of our internet friends are
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
This is really
exactly.
real. Awesome. Yes. So when we get back from Vegas, I think probably the next week we'll just maybe get some highlights together from what happened. I don't know, hijinks. I'm sure there'll be many tales to tell of everything that happened in Vegas. So probably do that, and then be looking forward to keeping going with the Abundance Wednesdays. And we have some just like that Lance and I have been trying to like keep things fresh and fun and interesting, and reformatting and working on our business and all kinds of things in the works, and having people help us out with things. So we'll be looking for a lot more from us, but probably some different and new and exciting things from us going forward into the future. But we're just looking forward to being with everyone next week, and then what the future
And
holds.
also, I believe you guys are not, when we get back from Vegas, we're not having a stream the following weekend, correct?
Correct. We're gonna do highlights for the festival, but I do want to urge people to watch the broadcast we're doing a bit of a scavenger hunt. If we get enough people participate, we'll have something fun happen in the month of June. So, you know, keep an eye on the broadcast, look for that. There's going to be a little hints along the way. So yeah, if we could get some participation, and good things will happen in June.
Cool. I think we have some ideas too. We ordered some swag as well. We've got swag.
Ooh.
We do.
Awesome.
Woohoo.
Yeah, if you guys have swag that you want to send over part of June, that's going to be we're going to do a little giveaway. So yeah, if you guys have swag that you want to donate,
we're bringing it for you. We're bringing you the swag.
All right, so swag.
An abundance of swag. Everybody's got swag now.
Oh, here's boxes and boxes of t-shirts.
All right, awesome.
All right, so it is just over an hour. We're doing our best these days to try to keep things to an hour for 1,000,001 reasons. So because it's respecting everybody's time, and yeah, it's just better to keep it at an hour, we figure. So I personally will say goodbye. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Tasha for coming and sharing your secret drop. Thanks for Nigel for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Thanks for Lauren coming back. Another one of our first guests who come on. We can't wait to see you in Vegas. We're going to still work on Tasha, see if we can't convince her to come to Vegas. Her and her Megan. Bring Megan's knees. Bring Megan herself. We don't mind. You know, let's just all hang out. Megan's cool. And of course, thank you to Tony and Laura. We love you guys. We love everything everybody is making here. And yeah, we will see you again here real soon.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye, everyone. Love you.